Hi, this is Brad Linder from Liliputing, and I have here a laptop from Acer. I believe this should be the Acer Aspire One 721. If you've been watching my YouTube channel or following Liliputing, you might have noticed that I've already done an unboxing and a review of the Acer Aspire 521. This is a very similar machine, except it has a larger 11.6-inch higher resolution 1366 by 768 pixel display. So let's adjust the camera so you can actually see it. Okay, let's bring it closer so you can actually see it. Looking around the box, it's a nice looking box. This is a demo unit that was sent to me for a review period, so I'm going to have to send it back, and it also means that what you see might not look exactly like the retail packaging, but the box is pretty much the same. It's just that this one's been opened and the insides might look a little different. Looking down the spec sheet, we've got Windows 7 Home Premium 64-bit. It's got a 1.7 GHz AMD Athlon 2 Neo K125 processor. That's a mouthful. As I mentioned, the 11.6-inch 1366 by 768 pixel display, 2 gigs of DDR3 memory, 250 gigabyte hard drive, card reader, 802.11bgn. Looks like there's no Bluetooth in this model. 1.3 megapixel camera and a 6-cell battery. So let's go ahead and open it up. We've got a sort of quick start guide here. Piece of cardboard, power cable, the laptop, power brick, and quick guide, user guide, international traveler's warranty. Seems to be pretty much it for what's in the box. So let's take a closer look at the laptop. Okay, well there's got to be a battery in there somewhere, so let's keep looking. There we go. As I said, this is a review unit which has been opened before, so it might look a little bit different than what you get in our retail packaging. Let's take a quick look at the battery to see if we can figure out the capacity. Doesn't seem to say. Oh, here we go. 49 watt hour, 44 milliamp hour. Should slot right in here. Snap into place. Looks like just snapped it a little too far. There we go. And so there's the laptop. Now, if you've seen any other 11.6-inch notebooks from Acer in the last year or so, this should look pretty familiar. It's got a very similar design, full-size keyboard with flat keys, a tiny bit of space between them, but it's actually kind of hard to detect the edge of the keys with your fingers. Still, I find it fairly easy to touch type on this particular keyboard. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of with this keyboard is the small arrow and page up and down keys. You can see here that 6 keys take up the space that's just barely any bigger than the shift key. Touchpad is almost flush with the side. Actually, it is pretty much flush with the side, but there's like a little indent here. They put a line so that as you scroll your finger over, you can detect the difference. But it's interesting because you've got a sort of brushed metal style palm rest area here, and that carries over onto the touchpad area. Distinct left and right buttons, you get a nice little click there. Kind of stylized power button here. Looking around the edges, you've got 2 USB ports, Ethernet, a lock, mic and headphone, SD card slot, 1 more USB port, so there's a total of 3, HDMI, VGA, and power. Nothing on the back. Nothing on the front other than a couple of status LEDs. The lid has a nice matte finish. It's a little bit textured, so you can actually hear that as you go over it. Just the Acer logo here, nothing that says Aspire One on this particular model. And it seems like it's going to be pretty resistant to fingerprints and collecting oil and stuff because of the way it's designed. The bottom has a large access panel, so you should be able to remove that to access, looks like the memory's there, the hard drive's here. You might also be able to access the PCIe card slot, so replace the wireless or make some other changes if you wanted to do that sort of thing. Now, because this model has ATI Radeon HD 3225, actually 4225 graphics, it's not going to need something like a Broadcom Crystal HD video decoder. If you want to watch high definition video, it should be able to handle it out of the box. And if you want to play some video games, it should be able to do that too. It's not a high-end gaming machine, it's not really a high-end graphics card, but it's better than the graphics that you would get with most Intel Atom-powered netbooks, or even a lot of the budget Intel CULV chips that I've seen recently. So when I compare the graphics, for example, between this model and the Asus UL20A, which is similar in size with a 12.1-inch display. The Asus has a Intel Core 2 Duo SU7300 processor and GMA 4500 graphics. There's no problems handling 720p, 1080p high definition video, even high definition flash video. But in terms of gaming performance, I found that the chipset, the graphics chip, that's used in the 721 is significantly better. Now, because this has a higher resolution display than the last version that I tested with this chipset, I'll be definitely checking to see how it works on the higher resolution display. But I suspect it should be pretty similar in a lot of ways to the Acer Aspire One 521. Definitely going to be checking out the higher resolution display, definitely going to be checking to see how battery performance is different, because that higher resolution screen should be, and a larger screen should be a little bit more of a battery drain than on the lower resolution. But I expect that the performance overall should be pretty similar to on the 521. So you can check out my video review of the Acer Aspire One 521, or go to Liliputing.com to check out the full detailed review of that laptop. And stay tuned, and I'll have a review of the 721 soon. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing.